I'd like to go over deep breathing with you today, or we can call it complete breathing, because the way that we tend to breathe is it's like taking half breaths. It's a shallow breath. But the first thing that I'd like to go over with you is posture. It's really important, if we're going to be breathing deeply, to have a posture that helps us do that. So if you are sitting in a chair or standing, we want to make sure not to have our shoulders rounding, because that keeps the body in a constricted position, and then we can't actually take deep breaths very easily. Also, head down is a problem, or rounding the back. These are all real problems, and all of us face this challenge. You know, we're working against gravity here, so we want to lift the heart. We want to feel like not leaning forward, because then you can't actually feel the sitting bones. So you want to kind of come back if you're in a chair, and feel that the bones actually in the mat, or not the mat, the chair, and it feels as though maybe you even have like a backrest behind you, and that's how you know you're sitting up tall. But even then the shoulders might round, so we want to consciously take them back and settle them down. And so let's sit up nice and tall as part of our breath work together. So once you sit up nice and tall, we will start with an assessment and just notice what the natural breath is like, so we know what we're working with and we know what to develop. So just rest the hands maybe on the knees and close the eyes. And just relax the muscles in the face. You might take a little bit of a deeper breath just because closing the eyes feels so good. And then just come into a natural breath, and that means the way that the body is breathing for you, and so you don't have to put any effort at all in breathing at this time. You can bring your attention to the nose, the nostrils, and just notice the air entering and exiting as the body is breathing. Relax the muscles in the face just a little bit more. And shift your attention away from the nostrils and bring your awareness to the chest and the rib cage and the belly, and just notice what parts of the body are moving as you inhale and which parts are moving as you exhale. Now, if it's not so clear what is moving, what we'll do is just go ahead and deepen the breath. So just as you would take deeper breaths, inhaling and exhaling, do that, and then notice again which parts of the body are moving as you inhale and in what way, and then which parts are moving as you exhale. And we'll continue doing this as you take a hand to the chest and a hand to the belly, and just continue to assess and notice what is moving as you breathe in and as you breathe out. So now we'll go a little further and see if we can come into a complete breath. So keeping hand to chest and hand to belly. When you take the next inhale, focus on relaxing the belly, and you will watch the belly push out as you inhale. And as you exhale, let the belly draw in. So the chest will not move. So inhaling, the belly expands. Exhaling, the belly pulls in. So now we're starting to work towards a complete breath. Continue this, and you may have noticed that you were breathing and the chest was moving or the rib cage was moving. Maybe the belly was moving as you were taking those breaths when we were assessing. What tends to be the habit is shallow chest breathing. The chest tends to rise and fall as we breathe, and that's really like a half breath because we want to work with the diaphragm, which is like an elevator. So as you inhale and you feel the belly expand, the diaphragm is dropping down, and now the lungs are really filling. And then as you exhale, the diaphragm is drawing up like an elevator, and the lungs are starting to contract inwards. So inhale again, let the belly expand, relaxing it, and then exhale, pulling it in. So now we're going to work our way upwards towards the rib cage. So inhale, relax the belly, and then let the rib cage expand as well. And this is going around a whole, like middle of the back. And then exhale, this area is drawing in, and the low back and the belly are all drawing in. Inhale, expand the belly, the rib cage. Exhale, release from the rib cage, and then the belly. So they physically draw in. On the inhale, they expand from belly to rib cage. On the exhale, they draw in from the rib cage to the belly. Now we're going to work up to the chest. Okay, so inhale, the belly expands, the rib cage expands. Now the chest expands. And then as you exhale, the chest draws in, the rib cage, and then the belly. And then we'll continue like this, inhaling the belly, the rib cage, the chest expand. Exhale the chest, the rib cage, and the belly. Now we're going to go up to the collarbone in this order. Inhale, relax the belly, it expands, the rib cage expands, the chest. And now the collarbone's going to lift, and the belly's going to pull in. And then exhale, relax from the chest, or the collarbone, releasing the chest, the rib cage, the belly, and then the belly's going to pull in again. Then inhale, expand the belly, the rib cage, the chest, the collarbone will rise, the belly will pull in. Exhale, collarbone down, the chest, the rib cage, the belly pulls in. Inhale, expand. Exhale. Inhale. A couple more of these. My hands are just illustrating what's happening. You can do it if it feels right to you, or just keep hands to the belly and the chest. And take one more. And we're going to take what I call a clearing breath. So a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. So that is a way to breathe completely. And when we train the body to breathe completely, it just becomes our natural breath over time. So the point is to try and just do it whenever you remember. So when you're washing the dishes, when you're driving, when you're on the computer. And at first it's required, it's a conscious activity, and then over time, once you've tried and tried and tried through the day and little sessions, or maybe like one session a day, the body naturally starts to just come into that kind of deep breathing, especially when you need it most. So when we breathe deeply, we can think more clearly, and our emotions can settle a little bit. So the mind and our emotions are so related, and they're so related to the body and the breathing. So we want to be very careful about not letting this breath just do its thing and letting the body do its breath on its own. On its own, it'll do all right. But when we step in and we really focus on teaching the body how to breathe so fully, it processes much better. It does its job much better. It is such a wise instrument, but we really have to ourselves kind of give it the opportunity to play to its fullest capacity. And so that deep breath is really important. So just remember your best, that whenever you're doing something, you can say, okay, now I will take deep breaths and focus maybe for 30 seconds or a minute or 5 minutes if you can on deep breathing. The other thing is I'd like to teach you Ujjayi pranayama. This is a Sanskrit term because it comes from this tradition of yoga, and the breath form that we'll take, it sounds like this, so I'll let you hear it. I think the microphone can pick it up. So what I'm doing is I'm actually keeping the throat muscles very active, and I'm kind of narrowing the passageway for the breath to enter and exit, and then that way I can control the breath. So that is opposed to the simple nostril breathing without controlling the throat. So that would just be a nice little whisper sound. But it's much harder for me to reach into my diaphragm that way. So I love this breath. I think that if you practice it, it takes a lot of time, but again, just trying and trying is going to help. So we'll go into it together by taking a deep breath in through the nose. And then open the mouth like you're fogging a mirror in front of you and exhale. Keep the mouth open, fog inwardly. Close the mouth, exhale through the nose. And even on the inhale, draw those throat muscles in. So you can try this breath, keeping the throat active so that you can make that sound and work your way through the complete breath while you're doing that specific breath. It's called victorious breath. And then releasing just in the same order we did before. So give that a shot, practice as often as you can, and I wish you the deepest, most fullest breath possible. Thank you so much. Namaste.